Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is Anuta, the Crochet World, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please subscribe to my channel, like, share and comment on my videos. And today we're going to do this beautiful pattern for a hat or a cap or a bunny. You can call anything you want. And here I've used a bobble stitch. Here it is. It looks like this. And this hat is made with 100% cotton yarn. And for this one, I've used my 4.5 mm of the hook. Now, the size of this hat is about 9 inches or 23 centimeters wide, and it is about 19 or 20 centimeters long, approximately. Here it is. And if you want a bigger size for this hat, I would like to recommend a bigger hook size. So instead of using a 4.5 mm of the hook, you can choose a 5 mm or a 6 mm of the hook and follow the pattern. And that's it. So let's begin. Okay, so for this one, we're going to start with a slip knot. So just have a slip knot and we're going to chain up 11 here. 1, 1. So just chain up 11. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 11. So here it is. I've got this 11 chains here. Now I'm going to turn my work, and here this is the back part of my chains. Now I'm going to skip this first chain and I will go to the second chain and I will insert my hook into this second chain and will grab the yarn and will make my first single crochet here. And now keep on having your 1 single crochet into each chain, and by the end of this chains we're going to have our 10 single crochets for this round number 1 or row number 1. So just keep on having 1 single crochet into each chain. So here it is. For our row number 1, I have this 10 single crochets, and now for my row number 2, I will chain 1 and will turn my work. And this chain 1 is not a stitch. We're not going to count this chain 1 as a stitch. We will go to our first stitch and we will take the back loop only. So just insert your hook into this back loop like this. Do not take both the loops. Just go to this back loop of this first stitch, grab your yarn and have 1 single crochet. And now go to this next stitch, insert your hook into this back loop only, grab your yarn and have 1 single crochet. Go to this next stitch, insert your hook into this back loop only and grab your yarn and have 1 single crochet. And now keep on having 1 single crochet into each stitch. All stitches will be back loop only, and by the end of this row number 2, we are going to have our 10 single crochets, all back loop only single crochets. So just keep on having the stitches for this row number 2. And here it is. I've got this 10 single crochets, all back loop only. When you're doing these stitches, just always keep in mind that this is your last stitch. Do not forget to have this last stitch, or the best way is to count your stitches. So always count your stitches, because sometimes it happens that your stitch will be hidden inside and you will miss out your stitch. So just keep that in mind to count your stitches every single time. And here it is. I've got this 10 single crochets, all back loop only for my row number 2. And now we're going to repeat our row number 2 until our row number 60. So for our row number 3, again, chain 1, turn your work. This is your first stitch. We are not going to count this chain 1 as any stitch. This is our first stitch. Go to the back loop of this first stitch, grab your yarn and have 1 single crochet. Go to this next stitch, insert your hook into the back loop, grab your yarn and have 1 single crochet. And now keep on having 1 single crochet into each stitch from your previous round, and all of your stitches will be back loop only. And by the end of each round, until your round number 60 or round number 60, you're going to have your 10 single crochets, all back loop only. So keep on having your 10 stitches back loop only, 10 single crochets back loop only for each row until your row number 60. And I'm going to meet you after my row number 60. Here it is. It will look like this. And I'm going to meet you after my row number 60. And here it is. After my round number or row number 60, it looks like this. And now we're going to attach this 2 parts together. So for that one, after your row number 60, just chain 1 and turn your work and just straighten up your this rib stitches, and we are going to attach our this two parts together like this. So here I'm going to take the back loop of my this stitch. So here it is. I'm going to insert my hook into my this first stitch. This is my chain one, so we're not going to count this chain one as a stitch. We will go to this first stitch and take the back loop of your this first stitch and go to this second part. Now here we're going to take the front loop of this stitch. So take the front loop of this stitch. This is your foundation chain, so just take the front loop. Remember, while doing this foundation chain and doing our this first row, I have taken the back part of my chain, and that's why I've got this V chains in here, and that's why I can take this front loop or back loop. So here I'm going to take the front loop of my this chains. If you have just made your chains and you have just started up your row number one just like that, don't worry, you can have any stitch in here. Now here I'm going to grab the yarn and we'll make a slip stitch here. So just pull your yarn through all your loops and have your one slip stitch here. And now go to the second stitch, take the back loop, go to this next side, take the front loop and insert your hook like this, grab your yarn and have your second slip stitch. Now keep on having your slip stitches, and remember to have the back loop of your this front side and the front loop of your this back side, and keep on having your this front and back side. Keep on attaching them and keep on making your slip stitches, and by the end you're going to have your 10 slip stitches. So just keep on having your slip stitches and I'm going to meet you at the end. And here it is. After your slip stitches, your work will look like this, and this is our front part. So we're going to count this as our front part. We will take this as our front part, and here where we have made the slip stitches, that's going to go in. So do not worry if your work looks like this. This one will go in. And now here I'm just going to turn my work. So this is the front part. We're just going to turn our work here, chain one, and we're going to have one single crochet here. So just insert your hook into this space in here and grab your yarn and have your first single crochet. Now here we're going to have stitch marker so that we will remember that this is our first stitch. And now keep on having one single crochet on each row here. So by the end of this round number one, we're going to have our 60 single crochet. So this is our first single crochet, and just go to this second stitch, insert your hook, grab your yarn and have your this second single crochet. Go to this third row, insert your hook and grab your yarn and have your third single crochet. I'm going to attach my this loose end in, so I'm just going to hide it while I'm doing the stitches. Just go to this next stitch, insert your hook, the next row, insert your hook and have your this fourth single crochet. Go to this next row, insert your hook and have your this fifth single crochet. And now keep on having one single crochet into each row, and by the end of this round number one, we're going to have our 60 single crochets, and I'm going to meet you after that. And here it is. I've got my this 60 single crochets for my round number one, and I'm going to take out my this stitch marker and we'll insert my hook into my this first stitch and we'll grab the yarn and we'll make a slip stitch here, and that's how I'm going to attach my this work, and it will look like this. And now here we're going to chain one and turn your work. So chain one and turn your work, and now you're going to work here. So this is your back part, so you're going to work on this back part. Now onwards we will work on this side. Now here, as we have our this chain one, yarn over, just loosen up your work a little bit, yarn over and insert your hook into this first stitch and grab your yarn. You're going to have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and spool your yarn through 2 loops like this. Now yarn over for the second time, insert your hook again into that same stitch and grab your yarn, yarn over and spool your yarn through 2 loops. And now you're going to have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over for the third time, insert your hook into the same stitch and grab your yarn, yarn over and spool your yarn through 2 loops, and now you're going to have 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over for the 4th time, last time, and insert your hook into that same stitch and grab your yarn, yarn over and spool your yarn through 2 loops only, and now you're going to have 5 loops on your hook like this. Here it is. Now yarn over and pull your yarn through all 5 loops, and this is your bobble stitch. And now we will go to this next stitch, insert your hook into this next stitch, grab your yarn and have 1 single crochet here, and that will create a bobble here. Here it is. Now for the next stitch we're going to have 1 single crochet. So after your this bobble stitch, next 2 stitches have 1 single crochet into each stitch, and into your this stitch after that, so into your this 4th stitch, we are going to have another bobble stitch. So for that one, yarn over, insert your hook, grab your yarn, you're going to have 3 loops, yarn over and spool your yarn through 2 loops. You can have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over for the second time, insert your hook, grab your yarn over and spool your yarn through 2 loops. Yarn over for the third time, insert your hook, grab your yarn over and spool your yarn through 2 loops, and yarn over for the 4th time, the last time, and insert your hook into that same stitch, grab your yarn over and spool your yarn through 2 loops only, and now you're going to have 5 loops on your hook. Now yarn over and spool your yarn through all 5 loops. Here it is, and this is your second bobble stitch. Now next 2 stitches we're going to have 1 single crochet into each stitch, so insert your hook into that next stitch, grab your yarn and have 1 single crochet, go to this next stitch, insert your hook and have 1 single crochet, and now into this 4th stitch we're going to have 1 bobble stitch. So yarn over for 4 times here, yarn over, pull your yarn over and spool your yarn through 2 loops, yarn over for the second time, insert your hook, grab your yarn over and spool your yarn through 2 loops, yarn over for the third time, insert your hook, grab your yarn over and spool your yarn through 2 loops, yarn over for the 4th time, the last time, insert your hook into that same stitch, grab your yarn over and spool your yarn through 2 loops, and you can have 5 loops on your hook, yarn over and spool your yarn through all 5 loops. And here it is, this is your bobble stitch. And now next 2 stitches we're going to have 1 single crochet into each stitch, so it's 1 and 2, and now keep on repeating this pattern, and your pattern will look like this. So now keep on repeating this pattern. So as we have our this 2 single crochets, after this 2 single crochets into your this next stitch we're going to have 1 bobble stitch, so it's 1, 2, 3 and 4. You're going to have 5 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull your yarn through all 5 loops, and next 2 stitches we're going to have 1 single crochet into each stitch, and keep on repeating this pattern. And by the end of this round number 2, you're going to have your 20 bobble stitches with your 40 single crochets. In total you're going to have your 60 stitches, and I'm going to meet you at the end here. So just keep on repeating your pattern, and remember that you're working at the back side and your your pattern has been creating in the front. So you're working at the back side, and I'm going to meet you at the end here. And here this, I've got my this last 2 single crochets of my this round number 2, and here it is. My work looks like this. Here, and now as we are here, I've made my this 60 stitches. I've made my this last 2 single crochets here. I will go to this first bobble stitch. So this is my first bobble stitch. I will insert my hook directly into my this first bobble stitch like this, and we'll grab the yarn and we'll make 1 single crochet here. Remember, I'm not going to have any slip stitch or chain one. Here, this is the first stitch of my round number 3, and I'm going to directly start my round number 3 because now onwards we're going to work in a spiral way. So here it is, we got our this first single crochet of our round number 3, and you can put your this stitch marker. So after your 2 single crochets of your round number 2, simply go to this first bobble stitch and have your 1 single crochet, and that's going to be your first single crochet of your round number 3. And now keep on having 1 single crochet into each stitch from your previous round, and here we're going to have our 60 single crochet. So this is our first single crochet. Here it is, we got our this 2 normal single crochets from our round number 2. We can insert our hook into our this our second stitch, and we will have 1 single crochet. Go to this next stitch and have your 3rd single crochet. Here this is your bobble stitch, so just insert your hook into this bobble stitch, grab your yarn and have your 4th single crochet. Next 2 stitches are single crochet, so just insert your hook into your this single crochet and have your fifth single crochet of your round number 3. Go to this next stitch, insert your hook, and have your this sixth single crochet. And now keep on having one single crochet into each stitch from your previous round. And by the end of this round, round number 3, we're going to have our 60 single crochets, and I'm going to meet you after my round number 3. Remember, we are working at the back side. We are not working into the front. Here we are still been working at the back side. Now onwards, we're going to work at the back side of our this cap of our this project. So keep on having your this single crochets, and I'm going to meet you after that. And here it is. After my round number 3, my work looks like this. I've got my this 60 single crochets here. And now for our round number 4, we're going to repeat our round number 2. So now onwards, this is our first stitch. Now onwards, we're going to repeat our round number 2 and round number 3 until our round number 14, 1, 4. So here it is. We got our this last stitch of our round number 3. Now we are going to start our round number 4. And for our round number 4, we're going to repeat our round number 2 here. And our first stitch will be our bobble stitch. So for that one, yarn over, insert your hook into this next stitch. Remember, we are working on a spiral way, so I'm not going to attach my this round number 3 here. I'm going to straightway start my this round number 4. And here I'm going to have my first stitch of my round number 4, and that is the bobble stitch. So just have your yarn over for 4 times. So it is 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now you're going to have 5 loops on your hook, yarn over, and pull your yarn through all 5 loops. And this is your first bobble stitch. Next 2 stitches, we're going to have 1 single crochet into each stitch. So it's 1 and 2. Now if you want, you can put your this stitch marker here on your this first stitch. This is your first stitch of your round number 4. And now keep on repeating your round number 2 and 3 until your round number 14. And your round number 14 will be your this bobble stitch round. And I'm going to meet you after my round number 14, 1, 4. So keep on repeating your this pattern. Keep on repeating your round number 2 and 3 until your round number 14. And I'm going to meet you after my round number 14. Remember, each round will have 60 stitches, 60. And your work will look like this. And I'm going to meet you after my round number 14, 1, 4. And here it is. After my round number 14, my work looks like this. And now for your round number 15, we're going to have our single crochets here. So for that one, just take out your this stitch mark. And for the first 3 stitches, we're going to have 1 single crochet into each stitch. So it's 1. Put your the stitch marker back on. That's 2 and 3. And now for the next 2 stitches, we're going to put our this 2 stitches together. So we're going to have our decrease stitch here. So for that one, just insert your hook into this next stitch, into this 4th stitch, and grab your yarn. Go to this next stitch, your 5th stitch, insert your hook like this, and grab your yarn. And you're going to have 3 loops in your hook, yarn over, and spool your yarn through all 3 loops. And that's how we're going to decrease our stitch. Again, next 3 stitches, we're going to have 1 single crochet into each stitch. So this is our next stitch. Insert your hook, have your 1 single crochet, go to this next stitch and have 1 single crochet, and go to this next stitch and have 1 single crochet. And now again, for next 2 stitches, we're going to make our decrease stitch. So we're going to put these 2 stitches together, insert your hook into this next stitch, grab your yarn, go to this next stitch, insert your hook into this next stitch, and grab your yarn. And you can have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, and spool your yarn through all 3 loops. Again, next 3 stitches, we're going to have 1 single crochet into each stitch. So that's 1, 2, and 3. And now next 2 stitches, we're going to put them together. So it's 1 and 1, yarn over, and spool your yarn through all 3 loops. And now keep on repeating this pattern. And by the end of this round, round number 15, we're going to have our 48 single crochets. And I'm going to meet you at the end. And here it is. I've got my this 48 single crochets for my round number 15. And now for round number 16, we're going to repeat our round number 2 here. So for that one, just insert your hook into this first stitch and have your bobble stitch here. So it's 1, 2, 3, and 4, and pull your yarn, and next 2 stitches we're going to have our single crochet. So it's 1 and 2. And now you can put your this stitch marker back on. Now here, for this round number 16, you're going to have your 16 bobble stitches, and remaining 32 stitches will be your single crochets. And I'm going to meet you at the end. In total, you're going to have your 48 stitches. So after every bobble stitch, 2 stitches, you're going to have your 2 single crochets. So keep on having your stitches, keep on repeating your round number 2 here, and I'm going to meet you here, and in total you're going to have your 16 bobble stitches for this round number 16. And here it is. After my round number 16, it looks like this. And now for your round number 17, take out the stitch marker, and here for the first 2 stitches we're going to have 1 single crochet into each stitch. So it's 1 and 1. Put your the stitch marker back on your this first stitch. And now for the next 2 stitches we're going to make our this decrease stitch. So for that one, insert your hook into this next stitch, grab your yarn, insert your hook into this next stitch, and grab your yarn over and spool your yarn through all 3 loop. Again, next 2 stitches we're going to have 1 single crochet into each stitch. So it's 1 and 1, and here next 2 stitches we're going to make our decrease stitch. So it's 1 and 1, and yarn over and spool your yarn through all 3 loops. Now keep on repeating this pattern. So again, next 2 stitches we're going to have 1 single crochet into each stitch, 1 and 1, and next 2 stitches we're going to make our decreased stitch. And by the end of this round number 17, you're going to have your 36 single crochets, and I'm going to meet you after that. And here it is. After my round number 17, I have my this 36 single crochets, and now I'm going to take out my this stitch marker, and I will repeat my round number 2 here. So yarn over and set your hook into this next stitch and make a bobble stitch here. So it's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yarn over and pull your yarn through all 5 loops. You can put your the stitch marker here. And now next 2 stitches we're going to have 1 single crochet into each stitch. So it's 1 and 2. Now keep on repeating your round number 2 here, and for this round number 18, you're going to have your 12 bobble stitches and 24 single crochets. In total you're going to have your 36 stitches, and I'm going to meet you at the end here. And here it is. After my round number 18, it looks like this. And now for the round number 19, we're going to take out our this stitch marker, and for the first stitch we're going to have 1 single crochet here. Put your the stitch marker back on, and now for the next 2 stitches we're going to make our decreased stitch. So take these 2 stitches, it's 1 and 2, and make your decreased stitch here like this. Again, our next stitch will be our 1 single crochet on that 1 stitch, and next 2 stitches we're going to make our decrease stitch. Here it is. Now keep on having this stitches. So next stitch you're going to have 1 single crochet into that 1 stitch, and next 2 stitches we're going to make our decreased stitch. And by the end of this round number 19, we're going to have our 24 single crochets, and I'm going to meet you after that. And here it is. After my round number 19, I have my this 24 single crochets, and now for our round number 20 we're going to repeat our round number 2 here. So let's have our bobble stitch here. So it's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Here it is. And now put your the stitch marker back on, and now next 2 stitches we're going to have our 1 single crochet into each stitch, and again into our this 3rd stitch we're going to have our bobble stitch. And by the end of this round number 20, we're going to have our 24 stitches, and we're going to have 8 bobble stitches here, and we're going to have 16 single crochets. In total we're going to have over 24 stitches, and I'm going to meet you at the end here. And here it is. After my round number 20, it looks like this. And now for your round number 21, we're going to make our decrease stitches only here. So for that one, just take out this first, take out the stitch marker, and insert your hook into this first stitch, grab your yarn, go to this next stitch, insert your hook and grab your yarn and make a decreased stitch here. And now put your this stitch marker back on. So this is your first stitch. Now we will go to next 2 stitches, and we will make a decreased stitch here. So again, it's going to be our decreased stitch. Again, next 2 stitches, we're going to make our decreased stitch. So here we're going to have only decreased stitches, and by the end of this round, round number 21, we're going to have our 12 single crochets, and I'm going to meet you after that. Sorry about this noise. You're going to have your 12 stitches, and I'm going to meet you at the end. And here it is. After my round number 21, I have my this 12 single crochets, and now we're going to repeat our round number 2 for our this round number 22. And for that one, for the first stitch, we're going to have our bobble stitch here. So it's 1, 2, 3, and 4 yarn over, and pull your yarn through all 5 loops. Put your the stitch marker back on. And again, next 2 stitches, we're going to have our 1 single crochet into each stitch. And by the end of this round, round number 22, we're going to have our 4 bobble stitches, and we're going to have 8 single crochets. In total, we're going to have our 12 stitches, and I'm going to meet you at the end. And here it is. After my round number 22, it looks like this. And now we're going to have our round number 23. That's going to be our last round. And for that one, we're going to make our decreased single crochets only. So here, take out the stitch marker and insert your hook into this next stitch. Grab your yarn. Go to this next stitch and grab your yarn and have your first single crochet here. That's the decreased single crochet. And keep on having your decreased single crochets only, and by the end of this round, round number 23, we're going to have our 6 single crochets, and I'm going to meet you after that. And here it is. We got our this 6 single crochets, our last round, round number 23, and now we're going to cut our yarn. So for that one, just cut a little longer tail and just secure your this last stitch. You can take out the stitch marker from here, and now we're going to need needle here. In here, and just turn your this bunny. Here it is. Enough. Just take all of these last 6 stitches and attach them together. So just insert your needle like this and take all of these stitches together. Here it is, and just tighten up your this work at the end like this. Here it is. If you want, you can have another round and simply tighten up your work here. And now put your all loose ends in. So here, just tighten up your work, secure your this last round, and make a little knot here. And now just hide your this loose end in, and I'm going to meet you after that. It does. Looks like this. And here it is. Now you can turn your this hat or cap or beanie, whatever you want to call it. And here it is. It's all done, and it's nice and secure. Here it is. It's all done. Your hat is ready. I hope you have liked my today's tutorial. So please like, share and comment on my videos, and please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you into the next video. Till then, bye.